motherfucker. I forgot that we don't have to wait for someone to put on a mask.
I thought you were going to do the surprise recording again.
No, I completely forgot to do that. I probably should have minutes ago, because we've just got to been doing a not even unhinged like conversation.
It's a normal conversation.
Yeah. So welcome.
A touch of craziness.
That's the show. That could have been the name for the show. It could have just been Touch of Craziness. All right, welcome to the Unpaid Nobodies, boys and girls. Please like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, please. We're here. It's been 2 weeks. The flu has been ripping through us.
Everyone's taking their turn being sick.
3 out of the 4 of us.
Yeah.
Yes. I think I was first.
Yeah, you were first long ago, and then this last surge took me, and then it took Jasper, which it doesn't shock me because Jasper was in my house.
Was all of them at your Super Bowl party?
No. And Jasper has been sick has gotten sick way too recently to have gotten it at my Super Bowl party.
Well, he's been traveling for work.
Yeah,
he
that too.
Traveling too. That too.
Yeah. So welcome to COVID Cast, everybody. We're talking about diseases. We're talking about prevention. We're talking about.
You know what? That would be better than our podcast.
I don't know. It would require much more research. Like, I just listened to an Alchemist album 7 times for this.
And look, I enjoyed it. I'll do it again. Another 7.
I'm listening to it right now. But we got that. We got to talk about the Super Bowl. Cover. Purvis, do you want to run through the releases for the week?
Yes, absolutely. There isn't a lot in terms of albums. I will say we did skip a week. Last week we did miss officially Drake's album that came out.
We'll talk about that.
And we will talk about it. But coming up, we have Nardo Wick, The Return. He's coming out with Wick. Should be fun. A lot of big names on that Future. I think Young Thug. All the Atlanta people. You know the list.
Yeah. Baby Gunna.
Exactly. You know how it goes. But a lot of singles coming out. Don Toliver finally is dropping that LV bag. That's been teased 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah.
We did get confirmed that it's produced by Pharrell, which is nice. I feel like I haven't heard of Pharrell beat in a minute.
Yeah.
We have Doechii. She's back after her Grammy-winning performance. Her and Jenny coming out with Extra.
Yeah, I've seen this promoted a lot.
Yes, that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I think she's going to have a good year this year.
She's going to have another great year. That girl has a lot of good years lined up.
Absolutely. We have NBA YoungBoy. Surprisingly, he hasn't dropped in a while. He dropped like 20.
Well, it's been like 3 weeks.
Right. He's dropping, I believe, a 2-song EP. Hey Hey and Of Late.
Wow, never broke again.
Well, never broke again. We have our Griselda Gentleman back. Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine dropping the pregame, The Story of Our Lives. We have Joey coming out with Pardon Me, the 3-song drop. I believe this is the official release of all the quote-unquote disses.
Yeah.
That was dropping.
That might be big, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I feel like if it is those songs, I mean, we already have them.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, with all the this is going on, I don't know if Joey can really compete.
He just isn't. I think he could because he's just like very talented. Like if we were talking about like old school battle rap, I'm like, yeah, of course Joey could compete, but we're not talking about that, right? It's like it's not the same thing.
What would be interesting though, now that you bring that up, I feel like a debate, not a debate, but diss tracks between Kendrick and Joey would be much different between.
Yeah, it would be a completely different thing. It wouldn't be a cultural event. It would feel much more like a sporting event.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would actually be in the light of.
It'd be an upgraded version from the Machine Gun Kelly Eminem.
Yeah, it would be like that. Honestly, yeah, it would be just like that if that was worth watching. Like,
yes, a big upgrade.
Yeah, exactly.
It would actually be a sporting event.
Yeah, but like, you know, like it wasn't. It would never have the same Clash of the Titans feel that the Kendrick.
It would be more of people asking why is Joey Badass doing this.
Yeah,
That
You
too.
know who else has been dissing Kendrick for years to try and bait him is Lupe.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like,
Lupe's a lot older, so it's just kind of like
it is like a lot older. It's also like, what are you doing? Like, and because like, I don't know. On one hand, though, it's like, I do get it. Like, I get that like Lupe just thinks he's a better like traditional hip hop lyricist than Kendrick, and like he might be. Like, I
It
think.
wouldn't really prove anything. Like,
But like, yeah, what does that prove, right? Like,
yeah.
you still made To Pimp a Butterfly. You still made GNX, right? And like, the other thing is that do not underestimate Kendrick's songwriting ability. That's the thing, is that his songwriting is nuts. It's the reason why, I've listened to his 6-minute Drake diss 3 times a day and couldn't even get through Joe Budden's 6-minute Drake diss. Like,
This is true. Very true.
so I don't know. I think like there's going to be, I wonder if there's going to be people who are, I don't want to say trying to capitalize, but trying like the blood in the water, wanting to like have their shot, and like it's just not going to be the same,
Yeah, no.
and probably won't
I
even
think
happen,
that as well. Yeah.
right? Like I don't see Kendrick responding to any of these dudes.
Mm-mm. I also feel like for the first time in a year, I actually think it's done with. Like, I don't think.
Yeah. It's definitely
Like,
done with. Like there's nothing, especially with what with
We've
this
seen.
this album that has come to pass.
The album, the Grammys, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, it's
the
done. Like
etc.
there's been too many victory laps.
Yeah.
It's done, right? Like
Too many victory laps is real. Yeah.
that's, that should be the name of Kendrick's next album.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't count that out, because I could see him doing a tribute to Nipsey.
Yeah,
yeah, but I would hope it would be more of a tribute than a diss. I
yeah,
feel like I would separate them.
yeah. Because it
But I
does
know
feel
what you
like it. Because at least for me, GNX felt like him definitely like rolling out of the diss thing, right? Because like I don't think the diss looms heavy over that project at all. And yeah, like I could definitely see like more coming from it. Like Kendrick is clearly just in his bag right now. So
He got that
What if that's the
motivation
title
based
of the deluxe?
yeah,
It could be.
God,
Let's
but
make titles today. Why are we making a bunch of titles?
I don't know,
that's what I
'cause
do for a living.
naming his next project Victory Lap just ties in
To the
so well
GNX.
for GNX
Yeah.
and so much other stuff.
Hey, quick question: does anyone know off the top of their head when is the first date of the Grand National Tour?
We can pull it up.
It is
April 19th, Minneapolis.
Interesting. The day we go to see Stavi.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no, that I'm wondering when we find out if anyone is going to open for them.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I don't want to say obvious, but the most rumored is Doechii.
yeah. No, that's the thing.
she's already going on tour.
Oh,
Is she?
well, I lied.
Yeah.
I didn't know
She's
she
already
going on
got
tour.
like tour dates and all that set.
Yeah.
She has her own tour.
Yeah. And like people do multiple, like people do, especially people like this, where it's like probably 2 tours of very different sizes. People do multiple tours at the same time all the time. Denzel Curry just did that last year,
Yeah.
where he was on tour with Suicide Boys and then doing his own shows along the way too.
But I mean, if Doechii has a tour, we should go.
Oh, 100%. There's no way Doechii.
Didn't know she was going.
The next time she's in Chicago, I'm going to be there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
We'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll look into it. We'll consult and return. Anyway, what
Yes.
other ones do we have?
We have Quavo coming with Trapper Wapper.
Fun.
So, that makes sense knowing who Quavo is. Rich the Kid is partnering with Kodak Black to join Rain Snow. IDK, I don't know, is dropping Mario coins. And our girl Coco Jones is dropping Taste.
Yeah, she's got a whole ass album coming.
Yes. That should be fun.
That'll be
I
fun.
saw
I like
her
Coco Jones a lot.
I think she dropped a Christmas something.
Yeah, she dropped a bunch of Christmas songs.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, no,
But,
she's really thrown down for that traditional R&B sound, and that's fun.
I was just gonna say that we desperately need.
Yeah.
It's not a lot out there.
Yeah, relatively wholesome, pretty nice. Like,
In terms of news, I did decide to cover a bunch of stuff that happened
yeah,
over the
there's
last
a lot
few
of
weeks.
stuff.
Smino has officially dropped his short film, Maybe in Nirvana. He also announced his tour this year, The Country Cousins. Very appropriate to Smino. I haven't seen the short film, but I need to. That
I
and
haven't
Mac
seen
Miller.
it yet either.
I need to see both of them. But that should be fun. I'm excited for that. I don't know if I'll go see the show, considering we've seen them.
Yeah,
But if I'm free and have loose change thrown around, maybe.
yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
No. Fetty Wap enters Billboard Hot 100 again. I don't know if we've
King
ever talked about it yet.
returns. The return of the king.
I wonder if somebody should look up JBL speaker sales and see if they've gone
I
up.
love that. I wonder what it's like at Best Buy right now.
At the Blue Store.
I wonder what it's like at the Blue Store right now. Like, if we were working there right now, would it be like, God damn it, we don't have any more JBL speakers? Like,
Every single test, every single time someone's like, "Can I test a speaker?" It would be this song.
yeah, it would be. It's like
How many
legal.
people do you think are going in just trolling the store,
Oh,
just
I'm
walking
sure.
in?
They have a
playing
sign. I would say a big store like the ones out by you. They have a sign already. Jeff, go check it out for us.
Honestly, I will.
I'm gonna say everyone's going in for the GPUs, and you just hear, "I want you to be mine," just in the background.
It's like, at least pick a different Fetty Wap song.
But yeah,
But the memes do go
Really
hard,
do.
and I like them a
the
lot.
memes do go hard. The internet always wins. Moving on to some other stuff. Outkast was announced by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as one of the 14 nominees for this year. That's kind of dope.
I think they'll get it.
Yeah,
You
I
think
think
so?
they'll definitely get it.
Because recently there's always been at least one hip hop
Entrance.
person or act or a group.
Yeah,
And I think they'll be the perfect one to go in. Because it's
I-
been over 20 years since
or less. Speaker
Speaker Box.
Love something.
So-
Yeah.
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 And hey,
Is there
what-
any other hip hop people nominated? I didn't look it up. I'm just curious.
I don't know about this year, but there's
forget.
definitely more that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay. I was gonna say you guys are probably know more than me. Oh, I see. Oasis, Fish. I recognize those names.
Yeah.
Mariah
Fish.
Carey.
A Fish will probably get in.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey. But that's not it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. They're the only hip hop that I see. Yeah, they're the only hip hop one. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think they have a high chance of just getting in
Fair enough.
and everything. Which, hey, good for them. You know, like I don't hate the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think it's like, I think it is nice to have something to commemorate cultural figures, because like that shit is just so ethereal that if you don't record it, they can kind of disappear. So like I think it's
do
cool.
think they kind of need to change the name a little bit,
Yeah, for sure. It should be like the Pop Music Hall of Fame or something like that, like,
or just the Music Hall of Fame.
or the American Music Hall of Fame or something like that. Like,
Yeah,
Is there
But-
not a music hall of fame? I don't.
Oh,
know.
no.
I have no idea.
I don't think so.
And it definitely just started as rock and roll, but it's evolved over time, and I appreciate the
Yeah.
evolution. Like, obviously, like it's gonna be very Rolling Stones core. Like you're not, but I think it's cool. Like I don't get too excited about it, but it's not like the Grammys where I have like
I would
issues
like
with
to
it.
visit it.
Yeah, like I'd be down. Like I'd be down to visit. Like if I was going past it, I would absolutely add it to like a day trip. I don't know if I would go out of my way. Like I don't
It's
know
in
if I would.
Ohio. Why would you
It's
go
in
out of your
Ohio?
way to go to
Okay,
Ohio?
fair enough.
Exactly. Although it's probably
I
not
don't know.
far from Rachel's folks, but yeah.
It's I don't think I think it's not far from the NFL Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
Be
so
a nice trip.
no, it's so yeah. I think it's cool. Like I don't feel super strongly about it, except that I think Outkast is like, like a very good choice. It's not this. It's more interesting than like what was the last one, like Run DMC, I thought, Which is like, I also love Run DMC. I think they absolutely should be in there as well. But like, I think Outkast is at least more interesting than that.
I thought Jay-Z was last year.
Or maybe it was Jay-Z. I'm not sure. I don't follow this stuff very intensely, but yeah, I do think it's cool. You see what I mean?
They've had a lot of backlash with who they've had go in for hip hop. I do
Interesting.
know that.
Saying that they don't deserve it, or it should be more.
No, that just they don't think they should go in.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
it's
it's
not
the
a
Rock and
hip-hop
Roll
Hall
Hall
of
of Fame.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just,
And
in
I've heard
reality,
people
there
say
should
that
be a
it's just
music Hall of Fame.
I've heard people say that like the hip hop entries have been like, oh, like the kind of like hip hop that like stuffy white people like.
Yeah.
Like I've heard that kind of like criticism, which I think is almost certainly fair. But
I mean, Outkast will fall into that category.
Outkast does fall into that category, but I do think Outkast is so good. Like Andre 3000
They
is so...
did it. They were one because
They were a
we
huge
just
cross-cultural
over
hit. Like, yeah, they
But
were huge.
we've just hit 50 years in hip hop, so they were still at the beginning of all of this
Yeah.
because they got big 30 years ago.
Yeah. No, you're right. 100%. Whew. But yeah.
All right.
I think it's cool. I'm just not going crazy either. All right, let's talk about
Oh, go ahead.
let's talk about the
Wanna go?
man.
Ty Dolla $ign removing himself from everything with Kanye.
Yeah.
Did this
Kinda
boy's
was
mama get to him finally?
Yeah, right.
It was inevitably going to happen.
I feel
Was
like
it?
I feel like his mama came to him and put some
I-
2 cents in his head.
I just feel
'Cause-
like, yeah.
Because you were all hyped going into the Grammys talking about Vultures 3 and Bully.
I wonder if it got to the point where like the streams just weren't coming in. Right? Like
Possibly.
I wonder if just like the money just was never there and this is just the point. Right? Cuz you're right.
You realize both
Like,
projects
why
were
would they?
fucking failure.
Yeah, you're right because like you're like, why would he? And it's like, yeah, probably because like people don't have these kind of like massive moral evolutions, right? Like, and I think the other thing is that Kanye,
Especially overnight like him.
especially overnight, but like the shit Kanye's been saying recently is not any more extreme than the shit he was saying 2.5 years ago, right? Like,
Nope.
it is the same brand of crazy. It is maybe a little bit more in your face because a worse person owns a social media platform now,
And
but-
letting it happen.
right? And allowing it to happen. But like, this isn't substantively. It's not like he crossed another line. It's the same Nazi shit,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's
everything
Reason
I was
Adidas
gonna say,
cut
and
ties with
everything
him.
else.
yeah, exactly. So it has to be some other reason than it was convinced of the ills of working with Kanye. It's like, no, I'm willing to bet that his streams are down. I'm willing to bet that he's trying to recover his career. I'm willing to bet there's something in the background. Maybe he almost
Oh.
lost his management or something. I don't know.
My money, I'm putting my money on his mom or his grandma came to him and said, "Hey, get your head out your ass."
I mean, I would like that more.
I was gonna say if that's what it
I'm
takes,
going that route.
yeah.
I'm going that route because Purvis, you're a black man in a black family. You know that shit won't fly.
No, it will not.
You know your mama or your grandma would be
Not be okay
coming
with
hounding you.
If I was associated with Kanye, yeah, they wouldn't be happy.
Yeah,
If
no,
I was able to
exactly.
stick on, it might change. It's true.
Yeah.
But yes, the black powers will definitely come down and
Yeah, right. And
shut
That's
that
what I'm
down.
saying. That for him to change his mind overnight, something drastic like that had to
Yeah.
happen.
It's a business
'Cause
still. It's
Grammys, and then a week late, not even a week later.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
you got to think about it. There's other stuff going on anyway. I feel like, I mean, again, I think it was obviously going to happen eventually,
yeah.
but everyone
Yeah.
around Kanye seems to simultaneously at the same time jump ship, including the marriage, because that was rumored too that they were getting a divorce.
Yeah.
So obviously, a lot happened in that week.
God. Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it
It's-
stop.
He's off those
It's gonna
meds.
stop. It is eventually going to stop. It is eventually-
We all know when it's going to stop. We're just not looking
The
forward to
day it stops is
Yeah, we
the
know.
day his music starts getting played again.
Yeah.
He
I
might
mean,
have to die.
in a way, yes. Like, in a way, yes. It's because.
You had to kill the man to create. Let me stop. Anyway,
Yeah.
speaking of
Yeah.
shitty things,
Yeah, you cover this one, Purvis. I'm going to have a drink.
Jay-Z and Diddy's sexual assault lawsuit charges were dismissed.
Was it Diddy? I've heard about Jay-Z. I did not.
It was Jay-Z and Diddy part of it. It was dropped because Jay-Z and his team came out and said you have to drop the Jane Doe and use your real name.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
And
fair.
Jane Doe wasn't willing to
Yeah.
put her alias out there.
Yeah.
But from what I heard, they are going to try and refile this on a federal level.
Mm.
Okay.
So it seems
So
like we
it's
still
not
got to
actually
wait and see.
Yeah.
I don't
So-
know. I have no,
Also-
I have no commentary on this.
Because from what I was hearing, if they file it on a federal level, she could stay anonymous.
Mm.
Okay. Jesus.
Yeah.
And this is also to clarify. I don't believe this is actually dismissing Diddy's original stuff. This is just the new.
No,
Yeah,
no,
this
this
show
is
thing,
just
yeah.
whatever came out with Jay-Z. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
No, because
Diddy's-
I'd read about that. And, but yeah, let's move on to the other legal situation.
Yes, a better legal situation that ended positively. ASAP Rocky was found not guilty on the gun assault charges. There's a video of him literally jumping on Rihanna. That's hilarious.
It is.
He jumped right into her arms.
Dude, the man's
Wouldn't
winning
you?
in life.
Like,
He's
I
winning in
mean-
life. Like, what do you beat the charges and you jump
if
in
you
Rihanna's
were Jeffrey McGue, if you were awaiting
I mean,
gun
I'm
charges,
I'm not saying I wouldn't.
yeah,
I don't think anyone's saying they wouldn't, but yes. More importantly, because
I'm just
this is
curious what the
music-
judge was thinking when that happened.
He's probably glad he didn't jump on the actual judge like the other video.
Yeah.
Just jumping over. Anyway, more importantly, Don't Be Dumb might be coming out, which is why it matters.
I think this is why he pushed, like, secretively. I think this lawsuit was the reason why he pushed it back.
Oh, I totally think that could have been the case because he's only gonna make some money off the album. He's gonna make a lot more off the tour.
Yes.
And not just that, I feel like they would use, or they would find a way to use the lyrics against him.
Maybe.
It-
I fully believe that.
Yeah, like I believe, I definitely believe the criminal justice system would do that. I
Yeah.
guess I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Rocky has like that kind of lyrics, but I don't know.
It might have been the newer music.
Who
But
knows?
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Historically, he does not have anything.
Yeah, like I don't think you.
no,
can-
he doesn't talk about shooting up.
Yeah, he
killing
doesn't
people.
do.
But I
like-
just feel like they would just
That's
find
it.
a way to use. They'll
Definitely.
try and twist it some way.
definitely.
As you do in court. So yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Exactly.
All right, Purvis. Your album of the year dropped a week
Ooh,
ago.
do Not push it.
Yeah, from your goat.
Yeah.
Nope, not even that. It's actually so funny because everyone on the podcast hates him. including me,
everyone
but I
is-
hate him the least. So
Yeah.
I have to take the title of like liking him.
I like a certain Drake up to a certain point because I started following Drake when he first started.
Yeah. Oh,
rapping.
yeah, definitely. I don't
Yeah.
listen
Then,
to
then
old.
there's a
Everybody
certain
like
part where he
Drake.
just.
I don't.
Everyone agrees on this.
Yeah, everyone agrees. But the thing is that, like, following current events, I'm not really listening to a whole lot of old Drake. I'm not actively
Oh.
avoiding it the way I am Kanye, but like,
Yeah.
But this is according to Party Next Door. This is a fucking album.
No.
You're
That
supposed to
was
fuck
a
to
meme.
this.
That was a meme.
No, that was-
actually one of those like meme.
Yeah,
Twitter accounts.
but
He
I
did
do
actually
think it is worth pointing out that our boy Drake in 2025
say that.
could not sell an album of fuck songs on Valentine's Day weekend.
And he had to stage a.
I like
fucking
Drake with the
video.
melodies, couldn't sell a bunch of fuck songs on the weekend. right?
and he had to
Dude,
stage
I
a
listened
fucking
to like
fake video.
3 tracks off of this. I had to turn it off. This Lash Tech music, get away from me.
Lash Tech music.
I'm glad someone listened to this because I have.
I've only listened to a little bit. Like
I'm the only one.
and like I've heard that. I watched a Fantano review. Apparently, there's a couple songs that aren't atrocious, but like
I refused to listen to it once I
yeah.
saw he started ripping off the Freddie Gibbs bunny.
yeah,
That too.
100%. And like I only did it as a joke. Like I really just wanted to say. I came up with the idea of Lash Tech music, and I'm like, I gotta listen to at least enough of this to justify it. Like.
No, I did listen. You can look at the streaming numbers right now. This is very bad for Drake.
Yeah, this was a big dud of an album.
And all the Drake hardcores are loving it.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
well,
actually.
So you tell me, because I don't. What do you unpack that, Purvis? Because like what I have heard wildly is just that this is just not a really great album. Like, I think the nicest thing I've heard is I've heard a lot of people say that this is the lane they prefer Drake to be in. But that's about as nice as it gets. So tell me what you mean about his fans, and tell me what you thought, because I know you listened to the whole thing.
I did listen to it 1.5 times. I couldn't get through it the second time.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I realized I was the only person on the podcast that would even give it a real shot.
That's totally fine. Like, I admit I did not really give it a real shot. Like,
I know, and that's fine. You made the right decision. I made a sacrifice. This is not me doing this.
It's like me sacrificing listening to Vultures too.
Yes, this is exactly.
Wow, because like I have not heard it's that bad.
It's
like
okay. It may not be Vultures too bad, but it's bad. It is not.
I've heard it's bad. I have not heard it's that bad.
It's comparable, and we're sacrificing to listen to some.
That's
shitty
fair.
Yes.
You got me there. Like,
you made the sacrifice. Thank you for your service. But I'll say my piece, and I'll say what I've seen on the internet. At least for me personally, nothing immediately grabbed my attention, which is very warning for a Drake album. I feel like I don't go into it for the deep miracle lyrics or anything. I don't go for it for anything specific. I just go for the vibe. And historically, Drake and Party Next Door has several hits together. Like, I would say classics together. They have at least 4 classics together. They're great songs in the past. I don't think there was one song off of this album where I was like, man, this kind of feels like the same level of quality. It's 21 songs long, which is ridiculous. And it is exactly what I expected it to be.
Just like kind of like real
80% Drake. Like, it's 80%
like stepping
Drake.
in dog shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 80% Drake. Party Next Door comes in here and there to drop something. I think the best take that I've seen on the internet is that these were just leftovers, probably both of their leftovers. And they said, hey, do you want to throw a verse on here? Because in reality, there's no real theme besides sex. There's no message to give. And there's so many oh my God, the bad parts are some of the worst songs I think I've heard.
Really?
Meet Your Padre is offensively bad.
Oh God, yeah. I've heard clips on Instagram Reels. It's not good.
No. I think there is maybe 1 or 2 songs that like I would call good, but I didn't even say it because like there's no point. There's nothing to take out of this album.
Is it super R&B focused? Like, is there any rapping at all?
There's one song. Funny enough, there's one song that actually is rapping, and it's the most streamed song on the album.
What's it called?
It's called "Give Me a Hug."
Yeah, what a lame ass.
And was essentially, if you want to break it down, he didn't rap. I mean, no, he's rapping, but he didn't talk about the diss. The closest thing he said about the diss was that he said, "Fuck a rap battle. I'm trying to get the party lit," which is a white flag.
He's given up. He admits he lost, so he's looking for someone to hug him.
No.
He's looking to cry in someone's arms.
I cannot believe nobody was like, have you not heard of the meme, like, where my hug at? Why would you make a song called Give Me a Hug?
I don't know, dude. It's not a great look.
in
He's
all this time.
Canadian.
Well, hey, easy. We like the weekend.
Yeah.
Hey, The Weeknd
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
I had
Drake
heard.
is your typical. Well, Drake comes from an acting background when
Yeah,
The
same.
Weeknd comes from a music background.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right.
So that's the difference.
Yeah,
That's
I
why we
had
like
heard
The
a lot of
Weeknd.
people say it's very reminiscent to Hurry Up Tomorrow, just not very good.
I don't even know. I don't know how they compare this to Hurry Up Tomorrow. You're saying this album?
Yeah, that is something I've heard. Is that I've heard it's like very similar to a Weekend project, but not as good.
I guess. Maybe
Yeah.
I didn't listen to it enough.
That's fair. You listen to it
Or maybe that's
too much.
just stretching it.
Maybe.
That's a bit of a jump. Now there's like what's your name? The one that they teased actually before it came out. I think Yeba is on the song. It's an actual good song, and like Drake and Party Next Door are not in the song. So like that was one of the good takeaways. But then we're like discussing it's not even a Drake song. So what's the point?
Yeah.
But yeah,
What would you give it as a
don't
grade?
recommend. Don't recommend.
What would you give it as a grade? Huh?
Like I wouldn't give it an F, but a D, I guess.
Okay. I don't think we've ever given anything a D. So like
Well, yeah, because we have like a strict policy of like, oh, we're not going to review something we think is bad anyway. So
Yeah, we're not just gonna
this would be
trash
a
it.
first official D. Yeah,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, we got to talk about it.
We
Now I'm
do.
officially gonna see if we find an album that all three of you like and I hate.
Ooh.
I'm gonna give us our first D.
Oh, you can say
Official.
vultures too.
Yeah.
No, an official review.
Oh,
that we-
yeah.
Official
I
review.
think we might have to go back and check what Jasper gave Scaring the Hose.
That is true.
Uh,
Jasper's given a couple of C's.
Yeah. No, he's definitely given
I
the
think-
lowest. But
I think I've given a C or two.
I've given a bunch of C's, you know. And like there have definitely been plenty of things I've heard where I would give it an F, but we just don't talk about it on the podcast. Like
Yeah, it's just not really who we are.
not really the brand we're trying to cultivate.
But yeah, all this came. What make matters worse, all this came after the Super Bowl. So shall we talk about it?
Yeah.
All right. So going back, talking about the Super Bowl, Kendrick Lamar. Very good. I don't know what else to say about it. I thought it was fantastic.
It was very good. It was. Let's not forget, it was the first PG Lang production,
Yeah.
which explains the set list.
Yeah.
Because if we want to remember, this is the first album off PG Lang.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar owns the rights to these songs.
Yeah. Well, he did some songs from Damn.
Yeah, but that's why it was so focused around GNX.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with that.
I definitely do, because it makes so much sense. And he didn't play those big hits because he played those when he did it the last time. And Kendrick
I
Lamar
didn't think about that, I guess.
and Kendrick Lamar never does anything twice.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that the songs he did with Dr. Dre, I don't doubt that he immediately just said, like, I'm not going to do those songs again. That I completely buy. To me, I feel like he was very clearly, I don't want to say making a statement, but the show was very deeply conceptual and, you know, kind of making a commentary about how black art in this context is consumed. So to me, I looked at the set list as like, how does it all ladder up to that concept? Because I knew it wasn't going to have all of his hits. The Super Bowl halftime show was 13 minutes long. And I knew that going in. So that's too much. The bag's too small. It's just not going to fit all the hits. So you just have to accept that, like, not all of them. Did I want to hear All Right? Absolutely. It's my favorite song. But I kind of understood that, like, the chances of him going back I thought the chances of him doing stuff off of Damn was like 0. Right? Like, I think if he was going to do big songs, I think I'm happy he went to that well for various reasons, because I think that they just laddered up to the concept that he was trying to do with like Uncle Sam and all that stuff. So like, yeah, I understand why people like were underwhelmed by the set list and maybe just would have wanted the Kendrick Lamar hits, like some songs from GNX, some songs from like Good Kid, Mad City. You know, I get that there's like a more popular but still equally Kendrick Lamar set list out there. So like I totally understand why people might not be satisfied, but to me I just knew it was going to be some kind of statement piece and that every song was going to have to ladder up to that statement piece in some capacity. Right?
Mhm.
Like I think the best example of that is the fact that he did All the Stars off Black Panther, which is one of his biggest hits, one of his biggest pop hits, and with SZA, which makes total sense because she was the guest. But like, it does kind of feed into that narrative of like how black art is consumed, given that that was attached to Black Panther, and that was a moment, right? So, yeah, deeply symbolic, a lot of stuff going on. He did not call the president a pedophile, which Kendrick,
I don't think he would have been allowed to do that.
call Trump a pedophile. My life is yours.
All right. I mean,
Still
his
my
biggest
favorite
statement
meme.
towards the president was having Sam Jackson there.
Oh yeah,
as
Oh,
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like, at least for me, all of the meaning behind and all the messages he was trying to get across is a bigger statement than like what the set list was. For me, he still hit multiple hits. Humble, DNA, All the Stars, Not Like Us. There's some of his biggest songs to date. I just feel like, for me personally, this is surprisingly, and I didn't realize, this is honestly Kendrick's peak. And I don't think a lot of people are really ready to accept that in terms of like popularity and quality, if you consider both. And so, like, for me, why would someone do throwbacks when they're in the middle of their peak? That's my take. So,
that's a very good one.
But-
That is a very good one.
yes, but the internet ripped apart everything and did what the internet did. So.
yeah. I don't know, like maybe because like I'm not actively looking for certain kinds of opinions, but like
The
everyone.
only people that I heard that didn't like it are people that don't like rap, Drake dick riders,
Yeah,
True.
and people that don't like rap that are racist.
yeah, yeah, and
I
yeah,
don't know.
and like I know I know a ton of people who were like, I thought the set list was good, not great, and it's like, yeah, I think that's fair. I disagree, but I don't think that's like an out there silly opinion to have at all. Like I thought he got fucked by the mixing.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Yeah, it wasn't
Even-
great. I
even
thought
the
his
replay-
performance wise was fine. Like I had no problem with Kendrick. But
I think he got fucked by the mixing because usually the Super Bowl frowns upon going live. He was live. Usually
was
the
live,
Super
yeah.
Bowl, they have you lip sync.
yeah.
I wonder if that's something you can either request or.
I think that it was more. I think he was pretty stern. It's like, I'm only doing this if I can go live.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm wondering
Yeah.
if that is Kendrick kind of standing on business in the sense
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah.
I'm going to do Not Like Us. I'm gonna say, "Hey Drake," and look at the camera. I'm going to do all these things to make
Yeah.
a point. I
Yeah.
don't want. You're already gonna filter out all the curse words. I don't want you to
Mhm.
filter out entire songs at that point,
Yeah, no.
which would be insane.
And of course he did end with Not Like Us, which, you know.
Or TV off.
Oh, TV off. It was the switch,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Telling
did
everyone,
like
turn your TV off.
I did like the switch from Not Like Us to TV off. I
Mhm.
thought that was really good. I love that he brought out Mustard.
And people didn't know who Mustard was.
Oh
while
my
screaming
God.
Of
his
course.
name.
Yeah.
I liked how the setup was like a PlayStation controller.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be a
Very
Squid
dope.
Games reference, but yeah, that I haven't seen Squid Games, so I thought PlayStation controller as well.
Dude, the Lord.
It's kind of both, from
Yeah.
what I heard.
Yeah.
Because he's a big video game guy.
Yeah. He also watches a ton of movies. Have you ever just listened to all the
Yeah.
movie references in a Kendrick Lamar
He
song?
does do a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. The other thing is, like, as much as I am a Kendrick fan, the internet's going to do its thing. Dude, there was all kinds of theories coming out. Like how the dancers were lined up was supposed to be a scale and where he's standing is an A minor.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the
Xbox
only
controller,
A minor
he's in
thing.
the X when he does peekaboo because Drake killed X. Like it's all kinds of stuff, dude. There's
No,
so many
yeah, I
layers.
don't care about the Da Vinci Code bullshit. But I do think that lowercase a chain that was A minor. That had to be what that
I
symbolized.
think that's
Mark
actually
was just
more
a PG
reference to the A on PG Lang.
Yeah, people didn't know
'Cause
that.
it's a
That-
Yeah,
lowercase
like
a.
I know it's the
PG
same
Lang
font,
logo.
but
No, I'm saying it's literally the logo.
oh,
Like,
is it?
I have the shoes.
Yeah.
I can grab the shoes. On the bottom of the shoe, it has the A.
Oh,
and people
shit.
just didn't know that. I mean, yes, it
Yeah.
is a double entendre, and I'm sure it was intentional, but like,
Yeah,
it's just PG.
because I thought the PG Lang logo was. I thought it was the flag he swings in the.
No, it's
In
two
the-
kids holding up a lowercase a.
I'm gonna grab it. It'll take me
Okay.
2 seconds.
Yeah, I thought it was the one
No,
from
it's two
the first
kids.
song.
No, it's two kids holding up a lowercase a.
I think.
No,
both
it's
of
the
them-
whole thing. It's the PG Lang.
It's literally on
But-
the bottom.
but-
I'm
that
gonna share. I'm gonna pull a Jasper. No, I'm not. But I'm looking at it right now. It's the two kids, but they're underneath
That
the.
is one of them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
most
So it
things-
seems like there's a lot of different variation of the logo.
the PG
It's even on the bottom of the shoe.
Yeah.
and they keep it on the bottom.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure. Like again, it's a clear double entendre, but like people just didn't know that's just PG Lang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew it was part of PG Lang, but I didn't think that they actually pulled out the A in anything. But yeah. Yeah, no, that was fantastic. I'm glad SZA was there.
Yes, she did well. It was only 2 songs, but she did well for 2 songs.
I mean, yeah, and it's a short set. It's 13 minutes. 15 minutes total. Like he ended it early,
Did he? Yeah.
but
Because
yeah, 'cause you usually get like 15 minutes, but
I don't think that's true. We went back and we watched like all the ones since Jay-Z took over, and they were all between 13 and 15 minutes.
they give you 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So like he ended
Yeah.
it early. Like
Do you
I don't think that performance needed to go the whole 15.
Oh, I agree. I think like he had a vision and he executed it very well.
Exactly.
You know, and yeah, I think he did a very, very good job with it. You know, I feel like all the good faith criticisms I've heard, I don't think are crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mhm.
like about the set list. I don't think that I haven't heard anything. Anyone who gives a shit enough about hip hop to like comment on the set list, I actually don't think has said anything crazy.
The only thing that I've been defending is someone like calling it bad. Like,
No,
it's really fine saying you don't like a song.
I have
That's
not
fine.
met a single person who told me it's bad. Now, granted, I'm not like texting my mom what she thinks about Kendrick Lamar. You know,
You want to talk to White Patrick?
I don't care. Like if he thinks it's bad, he knows not to bring it around me. Like,
I know.
yeah. And White Patrick, if you're watching this, I'll beat you in any debate. I don't care. Like I don't.
Oh, you're both debate lords. That should be fun.
I'm not a debate lord. I'm smart. There's a difference. Like
Okay.
I don't watch debate shit on YouTube. I watch Tia Corinne videos and read books. Like
That is fair. But
all
anyway,
right. So, is it time to get to the album?
Yes, yes.
All right. So,
I'm gonna be honest, I've only gotten through this once.
Oh,
really? I've
You
gotten
didn't
through
like it or didn't have time? Just
I
curious.
just it's good, but it's
Okay.
not my taste.
interesting.
I'm not a big 2 Chainz guy.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, because
Wait, because I'm the opposite. I don't like Larry June. So, like, let's break down how you feel about the artist.
all right. Well, why don't we just like introduce the album? We're reviewing "Life Is Beautiful" by Larry June, 2 Chainz, and the Alchemist. I think this has probably been the biggest hip hop release since January started.
Okay.
You know, obviously there's been some bigger albums, but like Bad Bunny and The Weeknd, but like
Mhm.
those aren't hip hop.
Before we get fully into this, I was seeing an interview the Alchemist did. He was asked, what does he see himself more as, an East Coast producer or a West Coast producer?
I saw
Did
this.
you guys see that? What
I
do you
didn't.
guys think Before
What
I
did he
tell you,
I know what
Oh,
he answered.
before I tell you what he answered, what do you guys think?
I saw this clip. I think he's an East Coast rapper. I don't think, like, I know he's from the West Coast, but like his
He's
music,
actually he's from East Coast.
I thought he was from
he's
LA.
from these? I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm like pretty sure he's from LA because he came up with Scott Conn and he's from Hollywood.
I'm not.
Oh wait, yeah, Beverly Hills. My
Yeah.
bad.
So yeah, like I get that he's from the West Coast, but like his sound, especially like the earlier stuff that I'm not nearly as familiar with, like with like Mobb Deep, like he has just had like a very influential East Coast sound. Like I feel like if you think The Alchemist is a West Coast producer, you have to then also believe that Tupac is an East Coast rapper, and we all know that's not true. Like I do not think you can have. I don't think you can split those opinions. I think they're the exact same logic.
Okay. I mean, I'm assuming he said West Coast because I think the obvious answer would be East Coast, and we're talking about it because it was a shock
Yeah.
factor.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
Yeah, that's
I
exactly what he
also
said.
feel
He
like,
sees himself more as a West Coast.
yeah,
And everyone looked at him like, no.
yeah, no, and yeah, because I
you are
saw
an
it,
East Coast
and I get it because like
rapper.
I bet that to him being from LA is a huge part of his identity, and I get
Exactly.
that, right? Like, but
Chicago
no,
was all.
And he's more synonymous with like Nas and
exactly.
Brooklyn and that New York
Listen,
style.
if you said Alchemist is going on a West Coast run, I'd be like, I'm in. I'm there. You want Alchemist doing some I mean, he already made songs with Schoolboy Q, but like he's
More
made
West
songs with all
Coast
the greats. But if he was doing like a West Coast thing, done. Absolutely. And like I get
like him and Tyler the Creator.
that'd be sick.
You know,
He has whole albums with Earl Sweatshirt. Void
Yep.
Year.
I was gonna say, I feel like for producers, they all
Bring Frank Ocean out of
have to
retirement.
go with the artist. Like I
Yeah.
feel like they have to line up with wherever the artist is from, and if they normally
Mhm.
work with East Coast artists,
Yeah, especially like
East
being the
Coast,
producer.
like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
probably an East Coast producer.
But yeah.
But
So him teaming up with Larry June from Detroit and 2 Chainz from Atlanta.
can I say the tweet?
Say
Can
the
I read
tweet.
his tweet?
Say the tweet.
Someone asked him, "How did you know that 2 Chainz and Larry would complement each other so well on the album?" He said, "I extracted a blood sample from each of them, blended them together in a test tube. A spontaneous explosion occurred, and after the smoke cleared, my taxes were magically done." And I feel like that's
Yeah.
pretty accurate for this album.
Yeah. It's certainly like a type of hip hop. You know, this is not a like high level, you know, just eat. I don't want to say like hard to get into, but like it is like a very specific sound. And I think I really, really enjoyed it. I don't want to say I have criticisms so much as like I just have observations, and like I'm just like right there with Purvis, right? Like I just was not really fucking with Larry June all that much. I think he's good. There are other Larry June. He has that one song with the amazing Big Sean feature,
I know what you're talking about.
right? Like,
It was recent,
but like,
something recent.
yeah, and I think it's also a song with The Alchemist.
It is, now that you mention it.
Yeah, right. And he has that song with the. So like, I don't think Larry June is bad. Like, trust me, of all the rappers that like we listen to that I just don't really reach out and grab me, I think Larry June is probably one of the best ones.
Mhm.
But I really like the album. I thought it was decadent. I thought it was very stylish. It sounds like an Alchemist project, and I think he is just the best producer. Like
It's been on an insane run.
right, especially now that he's like a rapper. You know, like it's, and he doesn't rap on this project, which is probably one of the only criticisms I really have is that like I do think the Alchemist is a halfway decent rapper, and like I think 2 Chainz is bringing a ton of flavor to this. And like I can see like how if you're just not into the 2 Chainz thing, like this just isn't.
I'm not into like I'm not a fan of Larry June or 2 Chainz. Like I respect them. I just don't listen to
Right.
to them.
It's a good
And like, the
combination.
thing is that like me and Purvis went through a pretty big 2 Chainz phase in like 2018. Like,
Yeah, see, I never really got into
Huge
yeah,
change.
yeah, and like, yeah. So like, I definitely think. What did you think about the production though?
The Alchemist killed the production.
Right. Yeah.
Uncle
Like
Al.
Honestly,
the
though,
production is like
I do think.
A plus.
I
Everything
do think.
else is like
I do
eh.
think though there is like a. I do think you can tell like. I don't want to say a weakness of the Alchemist, but like I feel like everything is so finely tuned that like it doesn't really have any highlights, right? And I feel like if you have artists that are at the top of the game like Freddie Gibbs or Boldy James, right? Like I'm thinking about the album I immediately want to compare this to is Alfredo. And you know, I think like when you have like such dynamic vocal performances like from Freddie Gibbs on Alfredo, those songs can become very, very memorable and be as tight knit as possible. I think there are some highlights on this song, on this album. I don't think it gets quite there, and I think a lot of the album does blend together in a way that doesn't necessarily work for that. Work in its favor as much as other albums that blend together so well.
I think that's a good take.
But like
It is a short album though.
it is a short album, so like part of me just does like that's the thing is that like I don't even know how much of a criticism that is because an album, especially one with this sound, I just want to listen to that for like a half hour, right? I just want to be able to put something on that sounds good long enough that I can get something done without having to look at my phone again. Right? And it's like or which, you know, is just recreating the vinyl. And it's just like, you know, just wanting a set amount of music to just listen to. So like, yeah, like how much of a criticism even is that? I don't know because I'm going to be listening because I'm going to be listening to this album all the way through. Like I've already listened to this album all the way through more times than I did have Hurry Up Tomorrow, just because Hurry Up Tomorrow, which I do like more, it's just much longer. Right? Like I just have to listen to it in shifts, even though I am listening to it like all the way through because I like the album very thoroughly. But like this is much easier to just get through a listen. I've listened to it twice today without blinking. Right?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, maybe less than other Alchemist projects. This is an album I'm coming back to less, just like for personal listening. But I also haven't been listening to a lot of music because I've been sick. Like.
Yeah, I get that.
And like I do think there are some like sonic highlights here. Like I think Generation.
Man, that song hits.
And it doesn't sound to me, I thought I like that song so much because it feels like the Alchemist really, really getting out of his comfort zone.
Bro.
Right.
Good.
And that song, I think that's the best hip hop song of the year so far. Like
for me, it's not even close.
Like not even close. And I think there are other really, really good songs on the project. But yeah, Purvis, why don't you tell us about your feelings now?
Yeah, at least for me, coming into the project, like you said, I love 2 Chainz. I think 2 Chainz is an amazing artist. I think he's very resourceful with his skills. I also think he is on the tail end of his career. So having a project like this is nice to see he can still perform. So that was pleasant to see that like we're getting a project for this. But I don't want to say hate because that seems way too extreme. But I do not listen to Larry June.
Yeah.
I feel like the vibe you get off this album is like every other Larry June project. And for me personally, I think Larry June is corny because it reminds me of like a get rich kind of person. The things that he raps about, the things that he's focused on, don't get me wrong. Hip hop, one of the main subjects is money. But like the way he talks about money is like either a get rich or like an old money type of thing. And it's like, I don't relate to this. Like I can't even.
Interesting. Because like, yeah, maybe the fact that I don't know a whole lot about Larry June is getting me through this project. Because like,
very possible.
Yeah, because like, I can even get that vibe that it's like very like get your money up core. Like
yes, it is. I won't say the person's name, but someone I used to associate with, this was her favorite artist. And I was like, oh, it makes sense. Because like all you think about is like money. And I'm like, dude, like all of the music that he focuses on is based on money. And sometimes it's hard to like consume, I guess.
Yeah. And like,
but On this project, it does work. I think
Right, because
the bubble, it does work.
yeah, because like I don't even because like going back and like listening, especially that song with Big Sean, like I can definitely see like what you mean.
And that is all his music. I'm serious. That is literally all of his music.
Yeah, so it's like it's like
talking-
predatory, like get rich quick scheme instead of selling crack like Griselda, right? Like it's like, oh, I'm not gonna sell crack, I'm gonna sell courses. Like
and it's funny because someone like the Alchemist would produce for most people, and like the sound is the same, but the message is different. But
and it's a different vibe, right? Like it's a very, it doesn't, because like like I think, and maybe I think like Larry June just maybe works off playing well off of 2 Chainz, who like he is like a very dynamic performer. He can be very energetic. I do think he's way more laid back on this project in a good way. I think 2 Chainz is fantastic on this. I think this is easily my favorite 2 Chainz project since Say It With Me Now.
Rapper Go to the League. Like,
yeah, it is my favorite 2 Chainz project since Rapper Go to the League. Yeah.
Such a good album. But
yeah. And honestly, sonically, I think Life is Beautiful blows Rap or Get Out the League away. Not even close.
Sonically, yes.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of the Alchemist.
Yeah.
But I think it does work because 2 Chainz is big and braggadocious. I guess.
Yeah.
2 Chainz, or I'm 2 Chainz, but got me if you want. Like, it's stuff like that. That
Colossal. This song, Colossal on this?
Colossal. Real big. Colossal. Like, it just fits so well. When I text you this morning, you were like, it's 9 in the morning. I was talking about the night before, but I was like, listening to this, get your feet up, have a cigar, watch some like blackjack. It makes sense. It's an old money type of album.
It is an old money type of album. That is definitely true. But like, I don't know. Like, I do think it is decadent and like luxurious, and like that stuff normally turns me off.
Okay.
Right. But I think because like one, I don't really associate that so much with 2 Chainz, and I don't think I think 2 Chainz brings like a lot of grittiness to the Alchemist production. And like a different kind of grit than Freddie Gibbs or Boldy James, but certainly grit nonetheless. But fuck, man, I do just really, really like this project.
I think the fact that it grew on me, I have so much more respect for it. Because the first listen, I was like, it's cool. It's fine. But like, once I listen to it more and more, every single listen, I'm like, man, this is such a vibe.
Right, it is like just such a vibe.
On the beach, just kick your feet up and like.
This is gonna be bachelor party music.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, like
and
I think
I'm happy it exists.
Oh my god! Now that you say like, oh, he's like a hustle culture guy. It's like, oh, he has a song called LLC.
Look up the lyrics. It's called LLC. You can look the lyrics like, oh, I'm making passive money and I have.
Yeah, he's big passive income vibes. Like,
I'm like, okay, thanks, Legion. Cool.
God. But I do just yeah. It is. I'm now noticing it as I reflect on the lyrics.
Thank you. I'm glad I didn't say anything before the podcast.
Yeah, like
break it up, you're gonna see it.
Yeah, but I do think I do just like the Alchemist just so much that like this album's gonna be on rotation until he has at least another one come out, which will probably be soon. He has a ton of projects all the time.
Yes, he has a ton lined up, which I'm excited for.
Yeah. And yeah, like honestly, like I do gotta say, like I did like this project in its entirety more than I liked the Genuine Article, which was his, the Alchemist's debut.
I think that also plays into the fact that like he's primarily a producer. Like he can rap. Don't get me wrong.
He's just not an incredible rapper. He's very good, but nothing crazy.
It's not 2 Chainz.
Yeah, he's not 2 Chainz. Low key though, this is like why I said like I maybe wanted to hear him rap, because I do think I do like him as a rapper more than Larry June. And like I am like wondering, Like, because I thought he had great interplay with Schoolboy Q on Ferraris in the Rain when he was rapping, and I'm like, oh, what would he bring to a song with Schoolboy Q? And it's like, yeah, you're right. Like, he's not 2 Chainz. I get that, but like, is it crazy to think he could have been a better straight man against 2 Chainz than Larry June?
Potentially.
Like, I don't think that's crazy at all. Like,
I think I am glad he set it up the way he set it up, because you're right. He doesn't have any verses on the album. As much as I don't listen to Larry June, for the vibe and the message of this album, you couldn't have picked better people.
Yeah, that is another thing, right? Is that like the vibe of the album, it does work, right? It certainly isn't like embarrassing.
No. And I'm serious, dude. Generation. I'm sorry, I keep thinking about Generation is such a good song,
dude.
If it was one song that came out, I would have.
My partner got locked up by bounty hunters.
Bro, this AP should have came with ADT. This Glock 19 can barely drink. What are you doing when you wrote this? Like,
dude, I just can't believe it. I can't
in
believe
the studio high as fuck. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, and you know what? They're doing it right. That was good lyricism. Like,
do it again.
Come on now. Doesn't 2 Chainz have that cannabis show on Vice?
I think so, yes.
I hope so.
He's one of the
where he goes around testing all the highly expensive fucking shit.
I do remember that one clip where like he ate too much too quickly, and they had to like cut the video.
So you know he's getting shit sent to him. He's like, oh, let's try this fucking massive ass bong.
God.
That's 24
that almost
karat gold
certainly
or some
is
shit
where
like
it comes from. Yes, it is the creative plants.
And again,
it is the creative PED.
Smoking out of a gold bong? Who do you think you are, 2 Chainz?
God. But yeah, no, it's very fun.
He's the king. And that's who he thinks he is.
God. All right then.
But I am gonna say this album does get me excited for his next project that I believe drops in March. Okay. The one with Forensics with Mos Def or Yasin
Bey, yeah. Oh yeah, that'll go crazy.
I know him as Mos Def.
Yeah. That's gonna be crazy. I agree.
But like hearing the instrumentals, hearing the beats, the production of this album, being a fan of Yasin Bey, I think I'm gonna like that album a lot more.
I think so.
Definitely.
I think that's totally fair.
I would be surprised if by his retirement, the Alchemist just drops all his projects in instrumental and just let people go crazy.
I would hope so, man. I want to see him work with everyone.
I could see it, yeah.
Right? Like I cannot think of a rapper I don't want to work with the Alchemist.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I get like maybe not my favorite song by Travis or the Alchemist, but that Lost Forever song, once I heard that it worked with Travis, it's like he could produce for anyone. You know, like anyone could work with him, right? Like I think there are some artists I would really like to see him work with more, but that's just because they're personal favorites. It's really not you know, like I don't. Yeah, do I think the Alchemist would sound great for Killer Mike and LP? Absolutely. It's because I like them a lot. Like I think he worked great with everyone. Like
it doesn't even matter who he works with; it's going to
sound good.
And what I would say is then, for Jeff at least, what I would recommend, look up the Alchemist projects with other people because like he collabs with an insane amount of people. So
I know. I like. I'm a big fan of The Alchemist. I have a bunch of his other projects. This is just one. I'm not a fan of Larry June or 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
So when you like one out of the 3,
yeah,
right, it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a balancing act.
It is.
That's fair. The ones with Bodie James, the Super Tecmo Bow.
Oh, I
like
love
that one.
Price of Tea in China is one of my favorite projects ever.
The one he has with that's the one with why am I drawing a fucking blank? Action Bronson.
Oh, what's it
Yeah,
called? I know
he has a couple with Action Bronson.
there was one that was recent. Oh, what's it called?
Yeah, the one with Dimitri on it. Yeah,
That's a good one. Oh, that is a good one.
yeah. He has a ton with Action Bronson. They have a show together.
Oh, Lamb Over Rice.
Lamb Over Rice. That album's
What an
so
appropriate name.
Yes.
yeah,
It just
God, so good. If you
can't-
if you
you
were
can't make this
dropping
stuff up,
okay,
dude.
if you were dropping an album with the Alchemist and had to name it over your after a meal, what would you name it? Like,
should I say something about steaks so you guys can kill me?
no. Mine would be 5 wings and some mild sauce.
Of course it would be. Isn't that taken? Like, didn't someone?
Mine would be Backwoods and Barbecue.
Fair enough. I like that.
Yeah.
That. I don't know. I'm not good on the spot. I'll come back to it later.
Yeah.
I mean,
Should we give it a grading? I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid A minus. You know, like I think it maybe could have been. I think there could have been a few more highlights, a few more really really engaging songs, but everything else is just working like a well-oiled machine.
I'll go B minus. Alchemist just
Carried.
he's the alchemist.
It's Uncle Al.
Yeah, Uncle Al.
Uncle Al. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, Danny Brown. That's an artist I want a full Alchemist project with.
Nope.
I think he has some tracks on Quaranta.
Yeah, imagine they've worked together at some point.
God, that's insane.
Imagine if we got a Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, Alchemist album.
I don't know if I'm ready for that. Would be dope though. I'm gonna go right in the middle. B plus. I'm very satisfied with this album. The fact that it grew on me makes me give it more respect. So, I'll take it. Any Alchemist, I'll take it. I'll just put it that way. So yeah, should we do recommendations?
Yeah,
Sure.
I am scrambling, but I got
You want
one.
me to go first?
Yeah, everyone else
Go for it.
Okay. I will start us out then. My very first one, Cleo Soul, a fantastic artist. Her song's called Her Light. It's an amazing song. Highly recommended. Very smooth and soul. Nothing too crazy. It's been a light week.
And I'm gonna go with a house song that I heard on an Instagram reel that Idris Elba was playing by Pirate.
Oh.
All I Wanna. I sent this one to Brandon. I didn't send this to our other group
Okay.
chat.
That was
But
fun.
One
this
of
is-
them, yeah.
That was very
Yeah,
good.
this
I
was-
was watching it. I was like, look at him go. Idris is killing it.
Idris
Dude.
Elba.
I didn't realize he was a DJ before he started acting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. I just saw the clip.
Yeah.
That's
He
dope, though.
he DJs out in London all the time, I guess.
You know, that actually does not surprise me. But that's dope.
Doesn't surprise me at all. But yeah, no, this is a phenomenal, like old school, late 90s, early 2000s house music vibe.
I like
Yeah. Okay, so my first one, I'm gonna dip back into a familiar well because I haven't been listening to a ton of music from the R&B album that's been dominating my life. I'm gonna recommend Scorsese Baby Daddy by SZA. Haha.
Nice.
Nice, yeah. No, I love that song. I really have been stuck on Lana really, really hard. Like lots of
I
great
haven't
projects
done
coming
that.
out.
Crazy.
Like a lot of stuff entering my rotation. Absolutely, but I am going back to that really consistently. It's
Did you go back to the one that was re-released on Super Bowl Sunday with the 4 new songs?
I'm gonna say even more stuff on
no, I've not even
it. And
good-
remixed.
Yeah. She re-released it on Super Bowl Sunday
Mm,
and had 4 new songs on it, and it's more split up into like a double album.
interesting. Oh, that I like. Say less. I didn't even notice. Like I literally have it at like the top of my Spotify, and I just click it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Awesome.
probably when it originally came out. Yeah, I don't know if Spotify just updated that, but I know Apple Music put out a whole new.
I'll have to look into it. I'm sure they usually have parity across the platforms. So.
Yeah.
It also looks different on your desktop, so you
Interesting.
might want to pull it up there. My second song, Sonder, Too Fast. Amazing song.
Interesting.
Amazing song. Done a lot of R&B this week.
I'm going with an ASAP Rocky hit since he was acquitted from all charges. LSD.
Good song.
Classic.
Classic song.
Great music video.
Dude, all his videos
All right.
so trippy. Still are, but so trippy.
So I'm recommending another house song. This is from one of my favorite DJs. I've been holding it for a minute because I was going to be seeing them live on Valentine's Day, but then me and Rachel were very, very sick. We weren't able to go. But I'm still going to recommend it. I'm recommending the Jojo Lorenzo remix of One Last Breath by Creed. It is insane that this song exists. It's insane that it works so well as a 6-minute house song. Like,
by Creed?
Yeah. Do you know the song everyone's been, the meme from Creed? Hold me on. I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking. There's an incredible, I'm going to send it to you immediately. There's an incredible house remix of this. And that was the DJ I was supposed to see. They throw a bunch of like really interesting parties throughout the country. We gave the ticket to a friend and they said that the show was incredible, you know.
Wow.
So, yeah, no, I'm recommending the house remix of One Last Breath by Creed by Jojo Lorenzo.
Pull up the song. Why are all their faces on a tree?
I don't know. I don't know why the Creed did that. That was the early 2000s. The one thing you can't blame is drugs or any kind of fun rock star shit. They were very lame.
Come on, please look up this cover.
I'm aware of the Creed cover. I'm aware of the One Last Breath Creed cover.
Okay, I clearly didn't know who Creed was before this, so
yeah, Purvis, you're black. We get it. You're not gonna know who Creed is.
What am I supposed to do with this? Like, this is their biggest song, and I don't know it, and it has almost 500 million listens. Oh, I know higher. Okay, I'll take it back. I know who Creed is.
Anyway, that was the show. You can sign off, like, subscribe. We did that at the top, though, because we remembered. I don't know. Pretty great episode, I'd say. Life is beautiful.
Yeah. I can beg to differ.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Let us try to ignore the imminent collapse of society.
7 more years. 7 more years.
Dude, Team Asteroid. I'm voting for 2 people. I'm voting for the Asteroid and Luigi Mangione. Free Cuisine. Anyway,